Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Shining Pearl. We're about halfway through Route 217 on our way to Lake Acuity. Our team is definitely accumulating damage, and we're using Manny the Dude Buster to kind of offset that, but unfortunately Manny the Dude Buster does have a limited amount of PP, and we're rapidly reaching that capacity. I'm going to lead with Star Gecko, because I think I can safely switch into Manny if I need to. Here's a spinning... Oh, I skipped some dialogue, but whatever.
But the instant it starts to snow, I'm as happy as can be.
I missed the first line of dialogue. Sorry about that. Not that I think you particularly care. This is all flavor text at best. All right, Skier Madison. I like your fit. The cute outfit. Starting out with Snover, so we don't have anything that inherently is super effective against it on Star Gecko, but I think we can chunk it pretty well. And who knows? Maybe we get a crit on Dark Pulse. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off in the last episode in terms of commentary and start rambling about Gen 1 Pokemon that I either like or dislike the designs of. I guess why don't we start with some of your favorite Pokemon, Kiwi, because I know you've very clearly expressed your love for Pokemon like Graveler and Geodude and Golem in particular. You love Rapidash, you absolutely love Tentacruel, which makes absolute perfect sense for you tentacle enthusiast weirdo. Is it bad to out my girlfriend in a public space, or I guess my fiance rather, in a public space as a tentacle enthusiast? Because that could lead to some misunderstood interests. I assure you, it is exclusively an aesthetic choice. Kiwi likes her Eldritch Horrors.
The conditions weren't very good.
I'm not even gonna say things that I shouldn't hear, but trust me, Kiwi, I could have absolutely said things I shouldn't hear. Oh my goodness, we are getting buried in snow over there. There must be like a hidden item over here or something, right? Look at how badly we're getting buried. Oh, yep, there it is. Found a nugget. My Pokemon senses have been trained by generations of hidden items and my abject refusal to ever use the item finder. I know for a fact that Kiwi, when she played her playthrough of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you did the Omega Ruby one. Oh, hold on.
I'll show you the techniques I had drummed into me at ski school.
When Kiwi played Omega Ruby, I saw her using her item finder nonstop through every region, and I understand that. As a kid, I refused to use the item finder. I used it occasionally, but mostly I just took step after step, like grid-based pattern through an entire region, mashing A to find items. And it worked. It did work. Should I have done it that way? Absolutely not. That wasted so much time. But you know what? When you're a kid and you don't know what to do with yourself, you've got plenty of time to make minimal sense of things and just play the game your way. And that's the thing about, I guess, playing Pokemon now versus then. Back then, I had a wealth of time. I had no understanding of kind of core mechanics, so I just did whatever the heck I wanted. Screw efficiency, screw what was logical. I was making my own story in my own game, and that, I kind of almost wish I could go back to those days because they were something special, and they're something that has been lost with the lack of time born of adulthood. I know I'm getting kind of risky here letting Star Gecko get this low, but we're switching him out. I figured he could outspeed the Golduck and knock it out with a Thunderbolt, but I think now maybe it's about time we switch him out, because he's hurting something fierce, and I don't think he can tank too much more. Let's see. So Star Gecko has kind of sung his song. We don't use Quipplecore into this kind of a Pokemon. Celestabetha could handle this just fine though. One Flame Wheel and it's done. Our HPs are getting real sketchy though. We're taking a lot of damage. It might be worthwhile honestly going back to that lodge just to heal up. But I have a bit of a thought that maybe our rival Betty is going to show up, although in theory he's busy with Lake Acuity, so hopefully not. It doesn't seem appropriate for him to challenge us to a random battle, but I wouldn't put it past him. He kind of just doesn't think. I think that's kind of his character design, too fast to think. I can relate to that a little bit, Kiwi, as you rightfully know. All right, so let's see. Starting region, Pidgey, Pidgeot, Pidgeotto, and Rattata, Raticate. Honestly, it's weird. I overall, in hindsight, don't terribly care for the design of Rattata, and especially Raticate, but I think it's the nostalgia goggles on this one. I think Rattata's design is classic and timeless. Raticate I can do without, it's just a really fat, chunky rat. And let's not talk about the Alolan variants. I really wasn't a fan of the Alolan variants of either, if I recall, although I don't have the biggest picture of them in my head. But I don't know. There's a part of me that's inherently partial to Rattata. Very boring Pokemon in terms of competitive, though. It doesn't really have anything move pool stat-wise or otherwise to account for in its evolutionary line. Thunder Wave. This could be appealing. It could be appealing. It could let us switch out safely. I mean, I think that's what Volt Switch is for. I don't think I take it. As much as that, I love Thunder Wave. It's such a competitive behemoth of a move. I don't believe it. My techniques were rebuffed. I mean, it slows your opponent. It gives them a 25% chance of not being able to attack. It is a very strong status ailment and its accuracy is at 100%, so it's really reliable. It's very good. And I remember using it a lot on very gimmicky Togekiss builds where I would paralyze Pokemon and then use, what is it, Air Slash afterwards. I talked about that not too long ago, so I won't go back into it too much, but I do have nostalgia for it, if nothing else. This is a Ninja. Ninjas probably have Pokemon that Whipplecore can handle, so let's take them on. I hope that eventually we see one of these where the hair is sticking out of the ground and they don't jump out of the ground and it's just a matter of they died of hypothermia. I know that would never happen in a Pokemon game, but I'd like to think it could.
There are several kinds of ninjas. Are you an Iga ninja or a Koga ninja?
I am neither. I am not a ninja. I think that should be obvious. All right, Skorupi. Yeah, we can handle that. It's Poison Dark, I think. It might be... Might have... Why am I... It's definitely not Bug, even though the Bug-type leader uses it. It's Poison Dark, I'm pretty sure. So that means we can hit it pretty well with... Wait. Maybe it is Bug-type because our Rock-type moves are super effective. Okay. We'll go ahead and shoot it with a bunch of rocks. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It must be nostalgia, but I think as boring as its design is, it does something for me, and I'm very happy with it. So Rattata, Raticate, I like them. Do I like them more than Charmeleon or Wartortle? No. So that puts them lowest on my tier, I guess. But overall, I like emotionally have more attachment to them and fewer negative memories, I suppose. Conversely, Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, they were in the anime. You like, that gives them instant nostalgia points. Between Pidgeotto and Pidgeot, I thought Pidgeot looked so cool as a kid. I loved the long hair design it has. And it's just a big bird friend. It never did make sense to me though that why does Pidgeotto happen before Pidgeot, like in terms of naming? Because Pidgeotto just is Pidgeot with less letters, and usually it goes the other way. Maybe it's just the thought process of making the name more efficient, therefore it's better that way? But I don't know. It's some sort of nonsense that I can't fully parse, and it doesn't fully make sense. Regardless, Pidgeotto did have some relevance in competitive, not for very long. Overall, its move pool was very lacking, its damage stats and defensive tools were very lacking. But I think Mega Pidgeotto, or Mega Pidgeot rather, was at least for some point useful.
I'm not much of a ninja either way.
You should probably use some voices other than Tristan in this episode, right? Oh, hey, another cabin. Oh, and we found the TM for Hail. Cool. I will never use that, because no one on our team will benefit from chip damage in a Nuzlocke challenge. Alright, if this guy heals us, I will very gladly take him up on his heel.
While I was fighting...
While I was fighting my way through the blizzard, I dropped a TM. It had the move Rock Climb.
Oh, well, I guess we gotta go find that then, because that actually is how we can navigate new areas, unless it's literally this one right here. TM 100 Rock Climb. Wow, game, that was a very difficult thing to find. Rock Climb in the Hidden Moves app allows you to move rapidly to the top of rugged cliff sides. Woohoo! Alright, I'm gonna go back to this guy and try to return it to him. I know he's not gonna take it, but I'm curious to see if he has any new dialogue. Nope.
Oh, what's this? You found my TM, but I'd already given up on the... Yeah, but I've already...
I can't say this. My throat is sore from too much dialogue, I guess.
But I'd already given up the TM for lost, and you found it. It's yours to keep, my friend. Make good use of it. I like your honesty, though. Let me reward you with this.
Oh, okay. You have a piece of God. Thanks. The icicle... We were rewarded the icicle plate. There is text engraved on the back of the obtained plate. The power of defeated giants infuses this plate. You put the icicle plate in your bag's other items pocket.
That icicle blade, I found that under the snow. I'm no expert, but it looks to be of ancient origin. Even as old as the time when Sinnoh came into being.
I'm definitely gonna make this my last episode, Kiwi. My throat is saying, stop. Please. Jeff, please stop. All right, is there any other trainer in this area to fight? It feels like we must be coming up. What is this guy doing? That actually looks like a lot of fun. Oops.
My wheeze.
Voices.
We skiers feel Mother Nature through the soles of our feet.
That guy looked like he was having a ton of fun, but if I did that for as long as he was, I would be throwing up here. Mantike. Okay, we do not want to lead with Quipplecore into a Mantike. Captain Squawk, I've got a little thing for you to eat. Oh, you know what? So here's the thing I can ramble about because I've completely lost the point of this conversation again. We recently watched... One second, actually. I don't know what my control stick was doing there. We recently watched I think it was a Tier Zoo. No, it was a Frank. Frank was an old YouTuber from like back in the days when the Vlogbrothers were like a dominant early force of YouTube. They still kind of are a dominant force on YouTube, but I guess for me they aren't. I'm not watching them nearly as much. I used to watch every episode they aired. But Frank, I know, is friends with them. Frank is a YouTube channel that does kind of the True Facts series, which is they look at different animals and kind of give a comedic spin, but mostly accurate representation of various animals and their neat adaptations and genetic variances, phenotypic variances more specifically, actually, that define them as their species or their genus. And it's really cool. He also had some very funny non-true facts about animals sort of videos where he did like surgery on Teddy and starts pulling viscera out of a teddy bear and things of that nature. He has like a how to trade Halloween candies skit that was also very funny. I don't know. I have a spot of nostalgia for his videos in particular, but he recently put out one for manta rays and what are they? Stingrays. And it was really cool. I very much enjoyed it. I mean, his comedy is kind of not quite my cup of tea anymore. It kind of feels awkward and stilted, but the facts that he offers are very interesting. I got a good taste of your power. What am I saying?
I got a good taste of your power.
But yeah, Frank is an old name that I like. Just every now and again, I go through phases of, oh hey, I remember he exists. Time to binge watch every video he's produced in the last 2 years. And it's nice. It's nice and nostalgic. We're really starting to accumulate damage. I think I'm gonna just try and lead with Manny for the rest of this run, or this area. We can't have that much left.
I've been skiing with Pokemon since I was just 5 years old.
All right, but yeah. I think he started off trying to do some sort of like Samuel Jackson impersonation or impression, but maybe that's just how he sounds because like it's dulled a little bit and it's fallen into its own, but it's largely the same voice. But it sounds similar to Samuel Jackson L. I have given up on speaking properly. Marrow. I guess we'll just Earth Power this. That's fine. And wow, Manny the Dude Buster loves his Quick Claw. He is using it left and right. And I'm pretty sure it's a 10% chance of activation. So what is that now? We've seen it used like at least 2, if not 3 times in a row. Manny had a dream about being quick, and he's living his dream out with the claw.
The claw.
All right, we can surf this fine. So yeah, Pidgeot, absolutely one of my favorite first-gen designs, at least as a kid growing up. It's fallen off a little bit because now it looks a little too chubby and weird, but I still think the hairline is really cool for some reason. I don't know. Look, you're free to disagree with me. I very much deserve to be disagreed with in many instances, and I acknowledge that.
Oh, wait, what?
But, all right, who's next? So after the birds, so we've got the bugs. So we've got Caterpie, Metapod, Weedle, Butterfree, Jeff? Butterfree, Weedle, Kakuna, and Beedrill. Beedrill has to be one of my favorite designs out of any Gen 1 Pokemon. It's so cool looking. It is so horribly irrelevant in competitive Pokemon. It has never had a moment of being good in any respect.
To make sure I'm more agile, I always dress light.
Like, it is Bug and Flying, two of the worst defensive typing in the game, particularly Bug though. Quad weak to Rock, melted by Fire. The Rock and Fire weaknesses alone, but Ice types and Electric types are so prevalent in competitive. Beedrill having no defensive profile and the piddliest little attack stat. It is just non-functional. And then they gave it a Mega Evolution, which also, in my opinion, looks fairly cool. Not my favorite design, but I'm not a big fan of most Mega Evolutions, frankly. But oh my goodness, Kiwi, it struggled so hard, and I still had it on one of my teams in Gen 1 casual play, because I thought it looked so cool. I really like its design. Kakuna I don't like. Weedle looks kind of silly to me, but it's the cute kind of silly, so I'm willing to forgive it. Caterpie beats Weedle in my book every step of the way. It's cuter, it's greener, and I really like the color green to the Weedle's orangey brown color. It evolves into Butterfree, which is at least some degree of viable. If I recall, Gigantamax Butterfree in Gen 7, or was it Gen 8? There are too many gens now, Kiwi. Oh my goodness. I think it was Gen 8. Sword and Shield. Gigantamax Butterfree actually was really terrifying because it was used to, I think, sleep opponents with sleep powder. But Gigantamax, I forget how it worked, but it had some really good effects through Gigantamaxing. I never played the competitive, so this is secondhand information, so that's why it's a little spotty in my understanding. But I just remember someone very vehemently saying Gigantamax Butterfree was a titan of competitive Pokemon for at least some point in competitive scene there. But I love Butterfree. Bye Bye Butterfree was like the saddest episode of anything I had ever seen as a kid on TV. Now it's whatever, honestly, but there is still there's something in my heart, in my soul, ingrained in my ethos that remembers Butterfree and the sorrow, the dread, the despair that it brought me as a kid watching Ash release his Butterfree so that it could, I guess, mate with its new love. Whatever the reason being, it sits with me. And I think more importantly, for casual playthrough, Butterfree was my only way to answer Brock. When I constantly insisted on, for anyone who, 1 second.
Achoo.
Okay, this guy is like hardcore surviving in the cold. No one here except for the Ace Trainers are dressed appropriately, and they're the only ones who actually seem to be cold in their animation, like they're actively shivering. Did we find her out? I think we found her out. Okay, hold on. Let's backtrack and just go a little bit this way, but I think we're at the end of the route, given we were seeing a route sign over there. But Butterfree, so I started with Bulbasaur a number of times in Gen 1, and the problem with Bulbasaur is it learns Vine Whip, and back in Gen 1, Vine Whip was not a Grass-type move. In fact, it was a normal type move, which means Squirtle was the objective only good Pokemon to start with in Gen 1, because it gave you resistance against Misty, it gave you super effective against Brock, and also could handle the rock cavern that you had to travel through after you got through Pewter City, which was full of other rock-type Pokemon.
A person, a rare sight. Thank you for visiting. A gift.
Spell tag. So I think this one enhances Ghost-type moves, similar in the way that Soft Sand that we got in the last episode enhances Ground-type moves when a Pokemon holds it. I could be mistaken, it may do something else, but it may increase your ability to run away from Pokemon, I forget. Alright, we're all taking a lot of damage, but I think we're coming up on the end of the route. Hello?
I'm using the dowsing machine on my Pokétch. I'm looking for things buried under the snow.
I feel like they're telling me to use... Alright, here, Kiwi, this is for you. We're going to use a single instance of the item finder just for you, Kiwi. If I can... I have to find the item finder. I need the item finder before I can use the item finder. Anything? Anything? Nothing? Okay, well, there we go. We used it. And now it's gone forever. So this is the stone that lets Eevee evolve into Glaceon. The boulder is encrusted with ice. It is bone-chilling to the touch. Alright, so I think that's it for Route 217. I am afraid of Betty just randomly showing up and ruining our day. But there's a decent chance he doesn't too. If he does though, we're just gonna have to like use our heavy hitters and play it super safe. Manny the Dude Buster only has so much PP, but he can carry some amount. Let's see, are you a fighter? You are a fighter, okay.
What is it? A Pokemon battle?
Alright. So, in summary, Butterfree is probably top tier in terms of casual playthrough on Jeff's history, and again, we can't forget the legend of Jeff's nicknaming scheme, giving us the name Butt Jeff. And it wasn't meant to be a butt joke, I'm pretty sure. I think it was my naming scheme. Everything had Jeff at the end of their name and a descriptor and something from their original name. Blast Jeff, Jolt Jeff. You get the point. So Butt Jeff was part of the team. I don't like the idea of keeping Manny out for this. I think we probably switch out Celeste to Betha. Hopefully she can tank this. Everyone's getting really low and it's starting to get super sketchy. Anyway, so Butterfree is #1 in casual play. Beedrill is #1 in design, though. I love Beedrill's design so much. Metapod holds a special place in my heart too because I can make organic chemistry jokes. Meta refers to a positioning of chemical groups on a benzene. And so I always make, whenever I name Metapod, I always go with the lame 1,3 dipod benzene because that literally translates to metapod benzene. 1,3 is the meta position, dipod, so 2 pods, so 1,3 pod, in a pod in the 1,3 position on benzene. All right, that's enough chemistry here. No one needs to like deal with Jeff being an Orgo nerd in a casual Pokemon playthrough, but please note that I will always make that really low-hanging fruit in my book chemistry joke when I name Metapod. But I honestly like the Metapod design too. Plus we had that anime episode again, anime kind of lurching these guys a little bit forward in my personal heart of hearts. Ooh, Seeking. Okay, we're switching out for this one. Everyone is getting so low. I think we switch into Manny because he can tank a water type move easy peasy. And Seeking really doesn't have that much in terms of damage. It might just go for Horn Attack or Fury Attack, frankly. That might honestly do more damage than a water type move here. Or it uses Flail, which has a base, like, nothing damage when it has full HP. Sure, why not? You really never know what to get from AI battles, frankly. We'll go ahead and use Recover to top off our HP. So yeah, I think number one Butterfree in terms of playthrough, in terms of design, it's Beedrill, then Metapod, and Caterpie, and Butterfree. And then Kakuna and Weedle are kind of on the bottom, but I like both of them a bit more than I'm willing to admit. I think part of the reason I have an issue with Weedle is it reminds me of Wiggler, whatever, the Mario enemy. And I don't really like their design either. But I think I just had to take issue with Wriggler from my sordid history with that Pokemon, not a Pokemon, from that enemy in Mario Sunshine. It was such a pain to deal with in that level where it's relevant. Until I figured it out, and then it became really easy to deal with, but still, before then, I was so bad at handling it as a kid. It was so obnoxious to me, I hated it so much. Alright, so that handles the bug starters. Let's see, who comes after that? I guess we've got Ekans, Arbok, Sandshrew, Sandslash. Let's do those. Sandshrew and Sandslash, also among Kiwi's favorites, honestly among mine too. They are peak Pokemon design. I think Sandshrew is precious, it's cute. I remember the episode in the anime, of course, where Ash fought against a Sandshrew that was waterproof, and I thought that idea of being able to train your Pokemon to be resistant to their weaknesses would be really cool if it ever got applied to the game. It never did. The best option you have is giving them a berry that blocks damage once, and you know what, from a competitive standpoint, that makes a lot of sense, but still, and I guess there's terrestrialization now, but that's its own can of worms.
Whoa, you're alive, aren't you?
But Sandslash looks so cool to me. I mean, it's the edgelord in my soul. It's the Sonic the Hedgehog fan coming out too, I think. But I love its design. I love Sandslash so much. Acuity Link Fun. Okay, we've made a new region, which means we can catch a new member of the team. But I think we're just gonna try and make a beeline for town and try to get some HP back. Our Pokemon are hurting, and there's no point in going back to that Route 216 lodging when we're this close to our destination. Hopefully they let us in. I really just am not in a good position to battle anything right now. Although I guess we're getting our new Pokemon of the team. Okay, it's a Snover. That's exciting. So we can have Obama Snow on our team, which I don't know if I actually want, because it'll have snow warning, and that means it'll cast hail, and that will hurt everything on our team, plus it's an ice type, so it's not terribly defensive. There are several reasons. I think we're gonna switch out to Captain Squawk, because he can tank damage from Snover very easily. It seems to really just like spamming Ice Shard, but I don't want to risk anything to Manny the Dude Buster, because Snover is a grass type. It could possibly have a grass type move, which is quite effective. All right, so unfortunately, because we're hit by Swagger, which confuses us, we're forced to switch out as per our Nuzlocke rules. That's fine though, that's fine. Again, in case anyone hasn't seen the episode and wants to see something cursed, please look at Captain Squawk's butt and notice how pointy the hair is on it. And then just imagine it's Sonic the Hedgehog painted black and clipped into his butt. There you go. Hopefully I haven't ruined this Pokemon for you, but I have certainly ruined this Pokemon for me. I don't really think we have any Pokemon that can easily tank a hit from this, so I'm going to switch back into Manny the Dude Buster, I suppose. And then we'll switch back out to Captain Squawk. But the chip damage is going to add up. I probably need to toss a potion on someone, just for safety reasons. Yeah, after Intimidation and the base damage of Ice Shard being relatively low, it's not really that much of a threat. You know what, I guess I could use... Oh, it resists Surf. Why don't we use Surf here? I don't think this should knock it out. If the damage is reduced by half. It does have a fairly high base power, so there's still a decent chance. No, okay, we're good. Cool, cool. Not very effective. Uses Swagger, so we're forced to switch out again. We'll probably just have to try and throw a Pokeball at it. Anyway, in the meantime, so Sandslash, absolute favorite. Sandshrew, slightly below it. Alolan variants, also love them. I really like the Ice Sandshrew, Ice Sandslash. When we get to talking about Vulpix, though, Alolan Ninetales is beautiful. I love the design on it. I think it's really cool looking, and pardon the ice pun or the cold pun there, but it's my genuine feelings. I love Alolan Vulpix. I love Alolan Ninetales. I think they look really awesome. I guess Alolan Sandshrew I have a little bit of an issue with, but I like the igloo aesthetic, so I'm willing to forgive it a little bit there. Stop spamming Swagger. I don't want to keep switching out. I think the Snover has figured out the gimmick of my run and is actively trying to like gimmick me here. All right, we switch back to Captain Squawk, I guess. Or sorry, Manny the Dude Buster. Anyway, Ekans Arbok. I think Arbok's design is awesome. It's going on the classic Cobra design, but I love to... Oh, it does have Razor Leaf. Oh, boy. Good to know that we resist it so heavily. I think it's a physical move, which is probably why, but if it crits, we're going to be losing half our health. So I'm going to toss out a Recover here and pray that Snover chooses not to use Razor Leaf or Swagger and just uses Ice Shard like it's loved to do. Would you kindly stop spamming Swagger, please? I'm not winning here, Kiwi. I am not winning here. It's going to be a slow and painful battle. Hopefully, when we switch out to Captain Squawk this time, we can toss a potion on it, or throw a Pokeball, or just get me out of this unending hell. I think Arbok's design is great, and I loved how it was animated, that when it used Glare, the old Gen 1 move that paralyzed Pokemon, the glare came from the fake eyes on its little... Oh, thank goodness we dodged it. The glare came from the little, I don't know what to call them, the fans on its neck that Cobras have, which is a certainly a good reference to how... Oh, I forgot we had 100 Moo Moo Milk. I should have been using these, or 10 Moo Moo Milks. I should have been using these from the start. It's a reference to how Cobras use that to kind of scare enemies by using, what is it, Pareidolia effect? Basically, the nature of life, seeing faces and things that don't actually have faces, but it makes them look bigger, makes them look like a big threat. And I like that about Arbok's design. Other than that, it's just a purple snake. and that's kind of the issue with Ekans. But my biggest issue with Ekans is when it's actually like drawn out in the games with the 3D models, it just looks too tubey, too like perfectly cylindrical. If it was kind of like if it had a little bit more lopsidedness to it, or like if you've actually seen a snake, you know that they kind of like flatten out a little bit at the belly when they're on the ground, and they're not like perfectly a tapered tube. They have some variance where their organs sit. And I would love for this Snover to stop using Swagger and forcing me to switch out. This is so obnoxious. It's gonna run out of PP before I have a chance to catch it. But I guess Ekans loses points for me in its modern design because it's too tubey for me. I think it's still a classic design. I think it's a very cute design. And Purple Snake with that's spelled backwards is Ekans, or its name is literally Snake spelled backwards, as Arbok is Cobra spelled backwards. I'm sorry if I ruined the surprise on that if someone who's listening didn't know that. If you didn't know that, hi. Sorry about that. Spoilers? No. Anyway, the Snover will eventually commit to not using Swagger, but it's kind of astonishing how committed it is to using Swagger here. I don't know. Arbok would be a solid A to B tier. Oh my goodness. What is this RNG? Like, what is this AI? Why does it think using Swagger a second time is the right move? Does it, like, know that I'm switching out? Iwi, will you forgive me if I break rules? Because I'm just gonna, like, this is just gonna waste time. We're about to heal. It's not gonna waste any major resources. I can just recover. Will you forgive me if I break my rule set just because this is boring? All right, if it uses Swagger one more time here, I am just gonna catch it. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna break my rules. Forgive me. This was worth it. This is worth it. Watch. Okay, is it gonna use Swagger another time? Let's see. What? Okay. Okay, maybe I don't have to break my rules because it missed. It only missed because we have an RNG chance of it missing. Please just catch it and get this over with. This is such bull hockey. Anyway, Sand/Peak, Sandshrew, solid A. Arbok, solid A. Ekans, C, I guess. All right, we caught the Snover. What do I even name this Swagger spamming idiot? Do we just name him Swagger? Swagger, it's Swagbutt, Swaglump. 1 second. Here we go, Rizzy Swags. Welcome to the team, Rizzy Swags. You are actually usable. I don't think I want to use you out of spite now, though. I'm so mad about how that battle went. How much of this episode was dedicated to one Swagger spamming Snover? But there we go, we've made it to town. Let's go heal at the Poké Center, and that's where we'll end the episode. Tomorrow we'll do some town exploration. We'll rescue Betty at Lake Acuity, and we'll call it good. But I think that's it for recording for today, honestly. My throat needs a break. I need breakfast. I am rather quite hungry. My stomach is screaming at me. So Kiwi, with all that said, I hope you've enjoyed watching. And if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're asleep, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you at the next episode.